What's up? Hey, I know that I said that I was going to make 13 of these, and I am, but the problem is right now it is fucking freezing cold in the Midwest where I live, and yeah, as of recording this, it is literally nothing more than 13 below zero at this moment. My car didn't even want to start this morning. However, I will be keeping my word, which, FYI, if you don't know, this is every single 05 basically put into a nutshell, or more or less explained, like the old other videos that I made, like the MTF, or the GOA, or GOI, I mean, goddamn. I got GOA on the brain because the simple truth is, I am not in a good fucking mood. It's literally been fucking bullshit. I've had this cold for 3 fucking days past due. After I cleared it, it came back, so yes, I am not in a good mood. However, yeah, let's just get back to this. For those that don't know, this is every single 05 council member, and we already did 13, which was just oh boy. That was just a clusterfuck, and no honesty, it was just a clusterfuck. But in all honesty, when we're talking about 0512, this one's actually kind of straightforward. 0512, more or less, is, well, usually the guy that deals with the money. He often is considered, or she is considered, depending on what you believe, is often considered the money person. Case in point, the first version of the 05 we're going to talk about is the accountant. The accountant is described as a male African descent of African origin in his mid-40s, who basically is the 05 Council's money man. Basically, he's the accountant. He runs the accountant division and everything that has to do with money. Whether it be, hey, we need some more money, or hey, we need to make sure certain things are taken care of. However, when it comes to it, he's often also considered one of the more interesting individuals, because he's also able to get money out of nowhere, it seems. This guy is either rich beyond his wildest dreams, but since he's from Africa, I'm gonna guess there's a lot of, Somalian princes trying to get your monies. Speaking of that, we also have 0512's version of Adam, which is a European Jewish descent, American origin. However, he's technically considered retired/deceased. Yep, like I said, when it comes to anybody else besides 0513, it's pretty straightforward. 0512 is the money guy. Even in this version of him that is quote-unquote deceased, he actually is well retained in most information that we know of. 0512 is, as I'm reading this, was more or less a good friend and best friend of Jack Bright, or also known as Dr. Bright. Oh boy. Anyways, he's one of the original, Adam is one of the original people who actually was part of the Foundation back when it was starting the Civil War. And even then, it was an interesting concept due to the fact that Adam actually left after a long time. His thought process was, I'm sick and tired of, doing everything that I have to. It was even rumored that, it was unclear, I should say, that Adam undergoed a nestic administration. Basically, when he retired, he was wiped clean and given a fat check and told, there's your severance. However, most people don't believe this to be true, due to the fact that he does retain some of his information. I know it sounds a little weird, but the fact that this guy actually existed for that long kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? The Contractor. Oh boy. The Contractor is, again, more or less supposed to keep the books. However, this version of it is an African European descent male of 40s with no unusual appearance. However, he has the ability to, call in assassins, more or less. The unofficial version of it is there was an assassination attempt on the 05 Council. He, along with 051 and a couple others, they weren't even touched. So it blows the mind We understand that 051, he's under heavy security, but 0512's assassins, they were just, well, to put it in the terms of a buddy of mine, John Wicked so goddamn hard that not even their mothers could understand how the hell they died. Yeah, when I say that he was an interesting person, you ever seen the movie Accountant? Yeah, imagine that, but that is 0512. He is pretty much a lethal motherfucker with a high IQ, able to, well, do books and also make sure that if you look at him funny, you're probably going to end up dead. Again, he does have, well, a little bit of a shut-in life. However, this is where it gets really cool. His staff is very small, yet he takes care of the books for every single one of the Foundation sites. He is completely able to do all of that in less than, well, a week. So it boggles the mind. A large organization like the Foundation able to completely and utterly take control of the accounting errors and everything else for that fixed in less than, well, a week. Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? The next 0512 is also known as the Train Man or the Conductor. However, this one's kind of a touchy subject. Oh boy. Originally, 0511 was the reason for this because, well, for those that don't know, 0512, 0511, and a couple other 05s decided that they were going to make a certain group that is, well, known as the Chaos Insurgency. Now, the rumor going around was that 0512 kind of joined them and became their boss. However, that's not completely true, but it is. Again, SCP, timey-wimey, fucky-wucky, information redacted. However, when it comes to this is actually proven true. 0512 and 0511 did create the Chaos Insurgency, or had a very heavy hand in making them. However, after a certain grouping of events, it was actually shown that 0511's wife was involved with them somehow, and also 0512 may have tried to do a Mr. Steal Yo Girl, and took 0511's wife and tried to rule the Chaos Insurgency after they defected. However, this is possible, but may not be true. We still have to wait for information and also to see what happens after, well, it's gonna be a real interesting topic when 0512 has some fun with that guy. Now, when it comes to the physician of the 0512, that's where it gets rudimentary different, but similar. He's still the accountant holder, he still holds the books, and he still does them. But he also assists due to the fact that he is a scientist. He is of an Asian Chinese origin, but the thing is, he's over 70 years old, and he is a former Abnormality Institute holder. More or less, it's the Chinese version of the Foundation. And he came over to the Foundation, apparently. It is believed after he joined the 05 Council, he actually helped out the amnestics department insanely by literally, and I'm not joking, literally making over hundreds of advances in less than the span of a couple years. It was also rudimentary said that most of his ideas were safe in the design, and even after practice was completely fine. He is considered one of the more stoic people, but at the same time, at the end of the day, he is probably one of the most interesting people on this, well, foundationary, I would say. When it comes to 0512's Cyrus, Sir Russ, Cyrus.
Cyrus.
God, why is it every single time we do one of these videos, I end up having to literally either Google search something or do phonetics in order to somehow read this shit? Jesus. Anyways, yeah, well, It's basically a brain in a jar. You know that image that everybody has lying around and you see that brain in a jar? Yeah, that's the brain in the jar. He basically, again, still is the accountant, still holds the books, and still holds more or less everything in control of the Foundation's financial department. And let me just tell you this right now, because this is the last one. He's not friends with 057 at all. 057 we'll talk about later, but they don't like each other at all. 0512 and 057 have a fucking deep hatred for each other due to the fact that, well, 057 likes to be a frivolous spender of, well, the monies. I mean, when I mean he is frivolous. I mean, he spent over $4.6 million on a sting operation that had nothing to do with anything anomalous. He did it because he wanted to know who was fucking his ex-wife. Yes, we're talking about this type of person. But all in all, he is actually considerably one of the best when it comes to taxations and also everything else. Now, I know that this is a little bit of a short video, but it's 0512. He doesn't have much of a friends or fan group. So, I'm actually going to give you guys a little bit of what I believe is headcanon when it comes to 0512. I'm going to be doing this with the rest of the Foundationary personnel, or the 05 Council, I should say. However, 0513 is such a clusterfuck of a mess-up, I didn't do one for him, because there's so much stuff that is contradictory for it, I can't even imagine trying to make a headcanon for that. So here is basically what I believe 0512 truly is. 0512 is a male from someplace in the West Pacific. He often does not give or talk to most of the Foundation members. However, he does have his team. He has most of the information and everything else due to the fact that he has, more or less, the complete control over the Foundation's, well, money. He is the accountant, more or less perfectly said. He takes care of everything that he has to, and is still a PhD physicist and scientist. So he does actually help out with certain, well, things. If it comes down to it, I would have to say that he is probably one of the nicer of the Foundation, as long as you don't fuck with his money. Because in all honesty, you fuck with his money, you fucking with him, and he is not going to be happy if you do that. That being said, he is an interesting individual, and I actually do like him, because the simple truth is, he doesn't have a hissy fit, and he doesn't really have any control over any MTFs, but he does have the respect of them. It's odd due to the fact that most of the MTFs that he talks to don't hate him, per se. Except for, well, the cauterizers, but they're mostly talkative towards only 057. Again, fucking $4 million for a sting operation just to see who was fucking his ex-wife. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a moment, because quite honestly, if I was the accountant, I would be so fucking pissed off I would want to strangle him with his own entrails. However, it's not as bad as it seems, and it's honestly probably one of the more interesting people I could actually talk about, due to the fact that, well, he isn't crazy, but he is quite ingenious. So yeah. With that being said, thank you for watching, and if you actually watched to the full extension of this video, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because quite frankly, I'm actually going to try to get as many of these videos out as I can in over the couple of weeks. So yeah, with that being said, I want to say thank you again, and always remember,